For only 99 bucks a year, you can upload unlimited music videos to Apple Music, Vivo, Amazon Music, and Tidal. This includes 4K videos, custom thumbnails, and the official Vivo watermark on your YouTube videos. Vivo also lets people watch your music videos on different platforms like Roku, Samsung and LG Smart TVs, Comcast, and more. Best part is, you keep 100% of your earnings. Just one more great tool by DistroKid. If you'd like to sign up for DistroKid, use the code below and save 7%. The analog rhythm is a sampler, the MKII is. The first one is only a sample player, so like if you have the MKI, which you can actually get really cheap right now, it can't sample directly into it, so like it doesn't have an audio input. My audio out of my keyboard is going straight into the audio in. And then this is going into my interface. The first one, you can't do that. You can only load samples via USB, so you know, that was like the main big update that they did on it. They also like added new buttons. So to sample into the analog rhythm, we're going to go into direct, and then in direct, like it gives us a few options. Is it going to be in mono, the threshold? What threshold means, it's this little line right here. So like if I start playing, you see that my audio is reaching that line, right? So instead of having to like time it perfectly where I press record, it has an arm, which means that if I press yes, it's gonna start recording. Right? If I want to save it, I press yes. No, I just want to hear it, so I press function and yes. Okay, I don't want to save it, so function no. But if the threshold is on, and this is like basic stuff for like any type of sampler, you're gonna have a threshold on the SP404, you're gonna have a threshold on the machine, so like, you know, it's important to know this stuff. It's gonna start recording once it hits that line. So if I press function yes, not function yes, if I just press yes, it's gonna arm it. Now it's armed. Okay, so that's one way of recording into it, right? Sloppy playing this morning, I'm sorry. Okay, but I want to show you guys a trick. It's not really a trick, I guess it's kind of like a workflow tip. If you want to have your loop be in time with the rest, you know what I'm saying? Like you can sample directly into it, like, and just guess, you know, and then mess with the trigs and place the trigs wherever and make it sound nice. But let's say you want to have like a 4-bar loop, right? But you can't really set like I want to record for 4 bars. So this is what you do, and this only works if there's no trigs like placed right on any of and on that track that you're doing it. So let's do the track that I'm gonna put my sample on. It's gonna be this track right here. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the sample sound, right? And I'm gonna turn off this one too, because I mean not the sample sound, the engine sound. And this is where I'm gonna put my 2 samples. So the reason that I'm gonna put my 2 samples on these two like first is because they're not a choke group. So these two are a choke group, which means that if I press this one and something else plays here, they're gonna cut each other off. So these two cut each other off, these two cut each other off. It's kind of whack, but it also like can result in some cool stuff. I wish that they weren't so many, like they weren't so tied, you know, like there's too many. I would have liked at least like 4 individual sample slots, but it is what it is. All right, so we're gonna go to this one, and then I'm gonna leave the metronome running as I'm recording. And I don't have to have a perfect stop. Now, here's my sample. So you saw how long that end was. So like obviously it's not going to be a perfect loop. It doesn't matter because this is what we're going to do. So we're going to save it. I don't care for naming it, but we are going to assign it to a pad. So after it saves, it's going to ask us, do you want to assign it to a pad? You want to click yes, or you want to actually, no, you want to press a pad. So it was this one that I wanted it in. So boom, there's our sample. Okay, so once we place that sample, let's go ahead and extend this to 4 bars. Once I place that sample on my first step, what's going to happen is it's going to play the whole sample, and then at the end it's going to reset that sample, so it doesn't even matter like how long that tail is. Boom, beautiful. My drums are super sloppy. I can go and quantize not the whole sequence. I can quantize just that one track. So the kick, I'm gonna put it at like 80. And then I'm just gonna do my snare again. And you guys saw, you gotta press double stop to make it stop. You guys saw like that those drums didn't quantize properly. So like that's kind of the thing with quantize. Like honestly, I would rather just go ahead and record it again. That's like my workflow, so. I feel like one of my drums is still late somewhere. So now that we have like our basic steps, we can just go in and just put them right back in for the drums, you know, like to make sure that they're like right where we want them to be. So that's, you know, a neat little trick. That's my snare. And here it is. Boom. Let's go ahead and copy this pattern. What we're gonna do is function copy, and then over here, I'm gonna paste it. Now we have that same pattern. Okay, we have that same pattern. Now we can start putting steps in. I don't even think, yeah. Actually, with the new update, okay, so like before, to select the track, you have to press track and the pad. Now, with the new update, it just switches to whatever pad. And I don't have much like on this project. Oh, duh, we just recorded that. This is like the only like weird textural sample that I have on here. Okay, so now we're gonna do a second keyboard part. We're gonna go over here. It's like habit. The keyboard turns off, like, you know, like trying to conserve energy. How thoughtful. Alright, that sounds good. We're gonna go back into here. We don't need that sample anymore, it's already saved. Function no. And now we're just gonna do the same exact thing that we did, and because we're using that arm record, we can just let this play. So we're gonna let it play, you know, 1 bar. I'm gonna go ahead and take the metronome off. And let's say I'm not ready to record, I wanna practice a little more. I just get out of here. See? Perfect. right, so now we have that sample. Perfect start. All right, save. And we're gonna assign it to the pad next to it. And now I'm going to put a step on step 1, and that's it. Now we have 2 parts, and then, but we also notice that, you know, that's a little loud. Let's turn that down a bit. So we go to our sample. If we press stop and we don't press it twice, it's just gonna keep on playing our sample. Maybe let's just go ahead and add that 3rd sample. Same thing, we're just gonna let it play and record. All right, yes, and we're gonna assign that to probably, probably one of these 2. All right, same thing, we're gonna go to that track. As soon as I play it, it starts playing, right? We're gonna set our step on 1.